She's a travel influencer, family travel expert, mom, and creator of Consistently Curious, a travel blog that provides tips and inspiration for families traveling with children. Stephanie Taleghani, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We really appreciate you being here, and as a fan of your travel blog, I have to say it's thrilling for me to have you here. So let's jump right into it. So tell me, when did you get started road tripping? You have a little daughter, so how many trips have you guys taken together?
So my daughter Sophie started traveling at 1 month old, was her first road trip. We started small, only about an hour and a half to Lexington, Kentucky, which is about a little over an hour from our hometown of Cincinnati. Since then, she's probably been on over 40 trips and 1 cruise.
Wow, you guys have really covered a lot of ground. So how do you and your husband decide what road trips you're going on and where to take your daughter?
A few factors come into play. The first is her age. When she was young, we tried to really kind of keep it closer to home, about 2-3 hours. In case anything goes south, you can hurry up and get back home. But our destination at that point was more, what were we interested in? Because she wasn't mobile. She was easily entertained with like rattles and mirrors. So we could easily like put her in a carrier and do that historic tour or tour that museum. As she's gotten older though, and more active, we got to find ways to burn that energy off. So now the trips are focused around what she would be interested in. We look for things like parks, hiking, outdoor activities. When we're choosing a destination, we also look at other attractions, like is there a zoo? Is there an amusement park, a water park? What other fun, unique, quirky things would be fun for her to explore? As she's gotten older as well, she has started to become part of the planning process. So she gets to help choose a destination that might be a good fit for our family. And it's actually been a great lesson in geography and budget. No, we can't go to Disney World every trip, and just teaching her planning and things to pack and some life skills. So it's been fun. The other thing we really keep into in planning as well is our budget. So we also have to keep that in mind. As much as we would love to go everywhere, we really some road trips, we have multiple stops, some we have one. So multiple trip stops. We want to make sure we have a hotel lined up. We kind of like plan out everything. Like, is there a pool at the hotel? Is there nearby parks? What can we do on the way? Is it like a neat roadside attraction we want to stop at? So we kind of bookmark our whole trip all the way there and back.
That's great. So question for you, for someone who's like a first-time road tripper. Was there something that you worried about when you were first planning your travels with your daughter, and then you realized after traveling that it really wasn't worth the worry?
So I had 2 different ones. The first is for road tripping is I'm like, where am I going to change her if she has an emergency accident and the only thing next to us is a gas station that's kind of run down, no changing table. And true to form, my daughter did that and had me face my fears. And I realized you just pull out a suitcase out of the back and your car is an instant changing table. As long as you have your car, you can change her anywhere. The other one that kind of might sound a little silly is I was worried what people would think of traveling with a baby, traveling with a small child. What if she cries all night in the hotel? What if she cries on the plane? What if she cries in a restaurant? And quickly realized that there's so many people that are grandparents, parents, uncles, aunts, teachers. They've been around children. They know this is just the nature of children, and it's something not to even worry about. People are actually more of a help than anything during our travels.
Absolutely. I can totally relate. I took my son on his first cruise when he was 7 months old, and he had the ultimate blowout on the airplane on the way to Florida. I was smart and had packed everything I needed in a plastic bag, so I pulled that out, and the nicest woman was like, "We got this, honey," and she helped me and my husband because we also had my daughter, and it was just so nice that someone just stepped up and helped. And I would because same thing, I was like, oh my gosh, everybody on this plane is gonna hate me, but it all worked out. And it was a little pre-planning goes a long way with packing everything in a bag so you can just pull it out and have it ready.
Oh, most definitely. It's so important just to be able to, so you're not lugging a whole diaper bag to the tiny airport stall and trying to squeeze in there. Like just having it ready to go is perfect.
Well, and speaking of which, especially with small children, I feel at least that you need so much stuff even for the shortest drive. So when it comes to those longer rides, are there things that some of us may not think of that you would recommend that we make sure we're prepared for?
So my biggest advice is you want to always pack for the unexpected. And the unexpected is, what if your GPS goes out? What if your air goes out and it's super hot in the car? What if you get stuck in traffic for hours and you have a hungry baby? What if you're in a cold area and your heat goes out? So you want to make sure you pack things accordingly, like have extra blankets, have water, have food always with you, have an atlas with you. That way, if you're caught on a country road and your GPS goes out, you're not lost with a child in the car. Have like road care kits, flashlights, things like that. Little things that you might necessarily forget in the packing process. The other little funny thing that I always like to pack is a size up in clothes. Feels like children grow overnight when you're traveling, and you're like, oh, well, now nothing fits. Or also having clothes for different temperatures. Making sure you have a jacket, even if you're going to a tropical destination, because the nights might get a little chilly for a little one. And vice versa, making sure you have some short sleeve outfits, because sometimes the weather is so unpredictable. You get somewhere and it's 80 degrees and all you have is long sleeve shirts. So having a different variety of things to pack is always also another recommendation of mine.
Well, and something else I understand from reading your blog is that you always pack a sick kit. So that has to be from a personal experience. So tell us the story behind it and what was included in your sick kit.
Oh, the story behind it is a doozy. We were on a lovely beach vacation in Gulf Shores. My husband came down with a stomach bug, put him out of commission for a few days. Of course, I have no medicine on me. I have the baby. And so we're driving around trying to find medicine, trying to find a pharmacy. And then as soon as he's better, my daughter comes down with 104 temperature, starts vomiting. We have to be on a plane in less than 24 hours. Once again, no medicine, no nothing. So now it is a priority. One of the first things that goes in our bag is a sick kit. This is different than a first aid kit, which also is in our bag at all times. Our sick kit has ibuprofen, Tylenol, Benadryl for adults and for kids. We have tissues, we have tea, we have hand sanitizers, wipes, things all like that, tummy medicine. So that way, in case anything happens, no one has to run out to a pharmacy. You have everything with you on hand, because it's already miserable enough being sick, but it's even worse when you're sick on vacation.
That is such a good tip. So you are obviously a master planner. So I bet you've developed quite the road trip packing list. So what do you always make sure that you have packed?
Oh, let's see. I want to say we always have Lovey, which is my daughter's little precious stuffy that she has to take with her everywhere.
So I also know that you always pack goodie bags for your daughter. So tell us about those and what you include in those.
Okay, so our road trip goodie bag is everyone always, if you have kids, the saying, are we there yet? So a way to kind of make that go a little bit quicker is we have road trip goodie bags, which are just little bags full of a treat, an activity, or just even a small toy. And we either hand them out hourly on the trip or state by state. So each time she has something new and exciting to open. So it can be, we kind of change it. It can all be based of child. We have stickers in there, coloring books. People do different crafts, travel games, fruit snacks, granola bars. We usually try to make it something that's special. We usually have a halfway point is a big item. It might be a doll. We usually go to the dollar store, just pick up some dollar items so it doesn't have to be expensive. And the other thing that we started doing recently is goodie bags for adults. So we have candy bags. So you don't know what candy you're going to get. And so you get the bag, and the other person plans the way there and the other person does the way back. And so we kind of try to start mixing it up to make our road trips a little bit more fun. So now instead of are we there yet, is it time for another goodie bag yet?
That is great, because that's the one thing the parents never want to hear on a road trip. Are we there yet? So I love that idea. All right, so for those parents who are still not convinced and have small children, what is the one thing you would tell them about road tripping?
I would say go, take all the photos, Write down those precious moments. Make those incredible memories. Even if you fear your child won't remember it, you will. You will have those photos. You get to tell them the stories of what they did. My daughter loves looking back at photos. It's incredible what they remember too. You're exposing them to new cultures, new language, new sights, new smells, new taste. That's all stuff that, it's just like reading. You wouldn't say, I'm not going to read to you because you're not going to remember it. You're going to sit there and still read to your children. You should still take them traveling. I keep remembering this quote by Jessica Scott that says you get 18 delicious summers with your children. This is one of them. If that doesn't put it into perspective, I don't know what it is. So make each summer count. Even if it's a short day trip somewhere, anything, make those memories. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be, you pack a picnic, go to a park an hour away, something different.
I love that.
So make those
Stephanie, what's the memory you're making with your family this summer?
Well, we are getting ready to go to Garden City, South Carolina, and my daughter is adamant about ghost crab hunting. So she loves to catch them in her little nets, and then she releases them. And that's the best part is we release them, and they scatter all over the beach, and everybody's jumping, and so that's one of her favorites. And she loves the ocean, and she just loves, quote, surfing, which is, I'm going to put the boogie board on the beach and let the water run over it, and she's surfing. So,
that is so
we're
great.
excited to explore some of that area and probably venture up into Myrtle Beach a little bit.
That sounds lovely. Well, have a great time. Thank you so much for sharing all of your expertise with us. I can't wait to read your blog and see what you guys did this summer. So thank you so much, Stephanie. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.